Okay, recording.
Okay. Hi, my name is Aiden Melheim. I live in Woodburn, Oregon. I am 24 years old, and I grew up in Potlatch, Idaho. I'm kind of a sci-fi fantasy nerd. I do consider myself a nerd, not a geek. But that's a whole argument that this whole community has all the time and is never going to be resolved. So moving on from that, a lot of the things I like, pretty much anything a nerd can be considered nerdy. I have some aspect that I like. Right now, my current addictions are WoW and Minecraft. But a lot of other things I do for fun, like read, play games. Munchkin, Magic: The Gathering are my two big tabletop type games. But pretty much anything. I own an Xbox 360 and use it all the time. Yeah, that's a lot of my nerd interests. I also am kind of an amateur inventor. A lot of things that I've either made or designed that I don't have the resources to make, but theoretically work. No patents yet, but lots and lots of designs. I have sketchbooks full of them, including some which apparently I believe have solved some problems that have baffled engineers for a while. See what else?
What about your schooling?
Schooling. I went to the University of Idaho. Graduated this last May with a degree in general studies because I couldn't really decide on any one course of study that I enjoyed over the rest, so I just kind of did everything. I minored in military science, and I'm a commissioned officer in the United States Army, specifically the Idaho National Guard, Corps of Engineers. So I get to move dirt around and play with heavy equipment. It's fun.
What are
what else?
What are you exceptional at?
I'm exceptional at building things, inventing things, and figuring things out in a non-linear manner of thinking, because a lot of things, like all those designs I mentioned earlier, as far as making things, I have a certificate in lutherie, which is guitar and string instrument manufacturing and repair. I learned in Snowville, Georgia, under John Marshall, and that is a lot of fun. I can make guitars do things that nobody would ever really think of, or I can make guitars that do things that no one ever really thought of before. Things I can make, like for example this miniature air cannon you see in front of my computer. If you let me loose in a hardware store, expect that my wallet will be empty and then I'll be making something that is probably not safe.
What would you guess your IQ is?
Let's see. Well, I took a standardized IQ test in high school, and it came out with a score of 193, but I'm sure that's changed. So I don't know, but somewhere around 200.
What are some achievements or awards, hobby, gaming related, academic?
Achievements or awards, well, I already mentioned my commission in the United States Army. That one is the big one, and my certificate in lutherie. I have several awards militarily from places like the Sons of the American Revolution, and from Idaho State. Academically, I was in the Honor Society my entire college career. While I was there, I did various things. A lot of art stuff that earned me a couple awards. I'm kind of blanking on specifics because I don't usually hold a lot of stock in awards. I just do what I normally do, and if I earn an award, it doesn't really seem like an achievement. As far as gaming goes, I am happy to have finally broken over 15,000 on my gamer score, and also to have finally hit almost level 70 on my paladin. WoW.
How would someone you know describe your best and worst qualities?
Best qualities: inventive, brilliant.
Can fix anything.
Yeah, I can fix just about anything given enough duct tape and WD-40. That is one thing. I love duct tape. I just love duct tape. I can do anything with duct tape. Let's see. Worst qualities. I am a terrible procrastinator. It was a struggle all through college and is now in my career, but usually I'm starting to get a better handle on it. But things get done. I just can't guarantee when.
And what about what's the definition of insanity?
I tend to try things the same way over and over and over, and a lot of times it's not the easiest way. And part of that is my nonlinear thinking usually says something like, if it's really that easy, it can't work. So let's try this other way. And then, okay, that didn't work, I'll try it again, but do something just slightly different. But yeah, I'm incredibly stubborn when it comes to trying things my way.
So, are you dating anyone?
I am dating a wonderful, slightly older woman. She's
God.
25. She is a perfect counterpart to me. I tend to be pretty emotionless and logical, or almost Vulcan. She is the Beta Z to my Vulcan. So, yeah, she really brings out a lot of the things I tend to suppress when I'm by myself or with other people that think logically. We've been dating for 6 or 7 months now. She's not the first relationship I've been in. I was married. I have a 2-year-old daughter that I named Tayla after Tayla Imogen from Stargate Atlantis, which is also my favorite sci-fi series. Is any of the Stargates. I even liked SGU, which a lot of people did. Tara is the girl I'm dating now, is a nerd just like me. She loves WoW. She actually got me into WoW about a month ago, so if you extrapolate that, almost hitting level 70 in about a month is how addicted to WoW I am. She is a YouTube partner and is a collaborator with a lot of other writer, blogger types on YouTube, and actually has her own channel that she set up with some of her friends. We are also both members of Nerdfighteria. It's not how we met, but is something we share.
I got you into it.
Yes, you did.
All right, there we go. And NaNoWriMo. That's not just writing, it's
Yes,
NaNoWriMo.
she also does NaNoWriMo, which National Novel Writing Month, which is coming up very fast, and she's stressing immensely. It's kind of funny.
Is there anyone that you consider out of your league?
Anyone or anything?
Anyone.
Anyone? Summer Glau.
That's okay, she's out of my league too.
I don't know. I tend to be pretty confident usually. I didn't used to be, but it's been a long process. College really helped. Anyone? No, not that I would actually try for. I am perfectly happy where I am, so anyone is kind of a moot question. But
Thank you.
as far as anything, no, not really.
Modest.
I'm perfectly
We're modest.
No, I'm perfectly confident given enough resources I could do anything.
All right, what's your vice?
My vice. Current vice is WoW. Previous vices have been Minecraft. That was a big one. I'm really excited that it's coming out here officially in another month or so. Before Minecraft was Xbox, usually Fallout and Oblivion. Also really excited for the new Skyrim release. Aside from that, inventing. Just if you can give me an engineering problem or a general device that should be made and give me an hour and a half to think about it, I can probably come up with some way to do it. Excluding the ones with really, really difficult engineering problems, like force fields. But yeah, usually I can design something. I love making things. I have a lot of vices, you can tell. I love making things.
Am I a vice?
including- Yes. I'm addicted to my girlfriend. The sword you see in front of me is one I made when I was in high school. I love reading, as evidenced by the books, playing video games, hanging out, just about anything that is nerd I can get into. There's just only a couple things that I've not really found that interesting.
What topic would you win in a debate?
Interesting. Okay, debate, assuming that there were rules in place that it followed logical progression and facts. I can win probably anything I have an opinion on, because I tend not to form opinions unless I have information.
Except for It's Win With Me.
Oh, that's just to piss you off.
Thanks. Political.
Probably, yeah, be political, and probably gun control issues would be the main one. Also, though, the current wars in Iraq and Afghanistan are a big hot button for me. I can argue politics all day and policy. Philosophy I can argue a lot, but that largely comes down to a matter of worldview, so it's kind of pointless.
Speaking of which, how did we meet?
We met in a philosophy class at the university. It was Buddhism. We both knew the professor beforehand and just kind of stared at each other across the room for a whole semester before we actually talked. So,
I was just trying to get the philosophy thing in the way.
yes.
Where do you get your news?
My news. It had been drudgereport.com and honestly the Colbert Report. Recently, though, a lot of my news has come from the Philip DeFranco show. It's another thing my girlfriend turned me on to.
I turn you.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah, you just generally turn me on.
What was the last thing you read? The last news thing?
Last news thing I read?
Or heard about?
I've been following the Wall Street occupation for a while. I'm not sure I agree with most of it, but there's a lot of things there. I tend also to get a lot of my news from military sources. Not official military sources, but sources in the military. Because I tend to understand their political affiliations and leanings and the philosophy behind what they're reporting a lot more. But in general, I don't follow things like celebrity news or pop culture at all. My girlfriend will always tell you that I am terrible with pop culture.
Who's Demi Moore?
Yes, that's when we met. I didn't know who Demi Moore was.
I at least thought you had seen G.I. Jane. My goodness.
Nope.
All right, so why do you want to be on the show?
I want to be on the show because I am a huge nerd. I love being nerd. When I saw that it was produced by the same guys that did Mythbusters and a couple other shows that I really like, it looked like an opportunity. It's actually been a fantasy of mine to work for Mythbusters, just because I love what they do and it's kind of the same thing I do. But in general, just I'm a nerd. I love being a nerd. I want to represent nerddom to everyone else. And that seems to be what the show is looking to do. So
Okay.
I hope you choose me.